Welcome to another edition of Real Talk Live. I'm your host, the Sixth Man, and tonight my guest is somebody that I worked with, somebody that I've known for over the years. And when I found out about this story, it took me back down memory lane. And just let me give you some storyline. So back in 2018, I had a friend. Her name is Kenethia Austin, and we did some work together because her son was actually shot and killed by the Metropolitan Police Department. And I was actually on live, coming home from work on live, and I'm seeing the aftermath of what had happened. I necessarily didn't know what was going on, but I saw the aftermath, and something about the aftermath didn't sit right with me. The community was fussing and fighting with the police, and people were trying to pinpoint the young man's body on the ground, and end up talking to the mother and said that they moved his body. They said that it was a gun, then they moved it. It was just so much going on. And so me being the person that I am, somebody, spoke to her about me because I had told somebody that I seen her interview on TV. I think it was Channel 9. And it was edited really bad. Like they were talking to her, but it was really edited and I didn't like it. So somebody told her to reach out to me. She reached out to me and my man Keon Green went to her house and did a full-fledged interview, so that way we could get an idea of really what happened. And if you guys want to go check it out, it's still up on my page. Um, um, it's Finding the Truth About Marquise Austin. I can put the link in the comments as well. But this story kind of is different because it's dealing with our youth and our young people right now in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I can't really explain what I see. I can't really explain what I hear. But it's terrifying. And I remember Miss K listening to your brief interview that I posted, and something that you said resonated with me. You was like, I'm truly scared for the young people. Like I'm truly, honestly scared for the young people. So I'm gonna introduce my guest tonight. Um, is it JK? Is it That's how you pronounce it? JK? Okay. And so what I want to do first and foremost, because everybody kind of knows, what we're going to be talking about. But I guess for me, I want you to kind of first and foremost, tell me who King was. Like if somebody didn't know him, if somebody just happened to see your story and doesn't know, up until what happened, just give us an idea of who he was, what kind of child he was, activity, school, all that good stuff. Just give us an understanding of who King was.
hmm So, thanks for having me, Kev.
No problem. No problem.
King was a king. King was laid back. He was very quiet. King was out of my four children, King was my most laid back, quietest child. He don't
Okay.
mess with anybody, but he's a protector.
Okay.
Um, very caring, very loving. King was known for playing on video games. Everybody that knows my son knows the King loves that game. So he was basically in the rooms, creating the rooms, kicking people out the rooms. He was the man when it came to the games. When King passed, I had people from New York, from Canada, reaching out to me. One of the little boys from Canada said, "Your son made a big impact on me. When I was depressed, I used to jump on a game and
Wow.
play with him, and he used to be joking, making us laugh. And
Wow.
he understands how much he impact us kids." And so when he passed, I was sad. It was very heartbreaking because a lot of the kids didn't get on a game anymore. They felt like it wasn't exciting anymore because King was that hype man. So,
Right.
to know King was to love King. He was the chill, laid back, handsome little boy. He used to keep his wave. Right before he passed, he ended up growing his hair. But before then, King with the brush in his hand. I used to call him Little Chicago, always brushing his hair. He was a chill, laid back, never bothered anyone. Got along with everyone.
So respectful, always, school,
Yep.
no past history with violence or,
Nope.
locked up, none of that
Nope.
stuff.
None. My son stayed in the house all the time. I'm
Is it true that he played football? I kind of heard something
He
about him
did. He did
football.
for a little bit with the Knights,
Okay.
PMV Knights. So yeah, he played that briefly. When he was around, how old was he? About 8, 9.
Okay.
He played with them. Yeah.
Okay. And so again, I am here with Miss J.K. McKnight, and her son was tragically killed back in April of 2021. And I felt like the last time we talked, I think, which was before the new year came. I can't remember if it was back in August or October, but we had briefly spoke because we wanted to set up something back then. But God always has a way of working it out and making it,
Absolutely.
come to light when it's supposed to. And so again, like I, mentioned about, I'm calling her my friend and my sister now, Kenethia Austin. It was something about her case that drove me, to want to help her as much as possible. But it's just something about who I am now at 45 in terms of wanting to be, on this new media platform. I want to be able to bring, what I bring,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's, with the shits, sometimes it's, whatever. But when there's something going on in our community and we have not figured out a way of why it's happening and figuring out a way to prevent it and certain things, those are the conversations that get lost because people don't want to talk about that. It's like too touchy, too sensitive. So doing the interview with Kanithia kind of built my confidence up because I was very respectful. I
Mm-hmm.
was very understanding. I didn't want to be abrasive, and I, when I asked her, I didn't want likes. I didn't want clicks. I was
Right.
like, I saw your interview,
Mm-hmm.
and what I saw, I didn't get to know who Marquise was from you. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to just give you an opportunity. And before I could finish, she was like, Kevin, I'm with it. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I bet. So we went to her house, um, and interviewed with her and the dad. And it was a fantastic interview because it was real. It was emotion. It wasn't scripted.
I saw that.
I tried to
Yeah.
ask those questions,
Right.
that she could elaborate more on so people can understand what was going on. And that's kind of the thing that I want to do with you, because even when I posted this snippet of what I posted to let everybody know we was going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about this tonight, some of the comments, and I jotted down some of the questions, you can tell people saw that snippet and was just like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
What? And I mean, not saying that people forgot, because so much going on, and around that time, COVID had just kind of was in the midst or whatever. So it was a
Transition.
lot going on, and so just going back to April the 17th, 2021, kind of tell us how that day looked leading up to you dropping him off at Richie Station.
Oh, all right. So prior to that night, my oldest son, birthday is April 18th. So I was supposed to be having a cookout for him. So I really didn't want King to go anywhere because we were supposed to be tidying up, getting everything together. But X was gone
Okay.
and he wanted to go out with his friends. They've been in the house with this COVID, this pandemic for months. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay,
Time to breathe.
yeah, it's time to breathe a little bit. We were coming to the end just a little bit. So
Hmm.
I said, okay. He was like, Mom, please, let me clean up my room. I was like, so I had left out and I came back in and he had cleaned up his room and I was like, okay, son, I'm gonna let you go out today. So he was pressing me out. So that night, I went and got him a hoodie. He asked me to go get him a hoodie. I went and got him a hoodie. And we came back home. What happened? I was doing my makeup. I was going out. I said I was gonna go out to, a nearby restaurant so I wouldn't be too far so that I can kind of keep tabs on where he is and pick him up. So
Jaspers. You went to Jaspers.
no, I didn't go to
Oh,
Jasper's.
I get ready to say you ain't gonna have no cell phone service at that.
I ain't go to Jasper's.
Jaspers is the
That's
worst.
my spot though. So,
Okay.
he was rushing me, Mom, let's go. Cause I was kind of hesitant. I was like, King, it's already like 7:30. And he was like, Mom, please. So I'm thinking like all of his friends are up there. I'm dropping him off. I got a tracker on his phone. I know where he is. So I mean, what's the big it's down the street, literally maybe 8-10 minutes away from the house. So I pick up his best friend Assad. He asked me, can he go with Assad? I go pick up Assad. They get in the car. I take them to, we get to the parking lot of the Tropical Smoothie. That's where all the kids were. They were supposed to be going to Dave and Buster's, but I guess they were meeting up at the Tropical Smoothie. So before they got on my car, I said, King and Asal, let me make it clear. that if it's a fight that breaks out, and the reason why I said this was because it was so many kids outside that night. So motherly instincts, I'm just like, if something happens tonight, you both better call my phone. Do not get involved in anything that goes on out in this parking lot. He was like, okay, ma, I hear you, I hear you. So I had to look at Asad and I'm like, Asad, you hear me, right? And he said, yes, yes, Miss K. I said, okay, cool. So I tell him I love him. He gets out. Then I drive off. But it's just like I'm looking in my rear mirror the whole time. It's just, I don't know, just that night just didn't seem right. And so he left his phone in my car. So I had went back to him and I sat in the parking lot. He didn't know I was sitting there and I'm just watching him. I see all the girls on him and he just interacting with the girls and stuff. So after a while, he didn't notice me. So I beat my horn and he saw me. I was like, your phone. And he ran back and gave it to me. And so I said, I love you. I said, remember what I said? He said, okay. So I pulled off. I'm still looking in my mirror. But just that night, I just kept looking at my tracker, just tracking him. And I'm just like, because I don't let him out the house. So I'm looking at the tracker. I go out, I pick my girlfriend up. We go to the restaurant. I'm at the table looking at my tracker. And I see that he's
Really?
not at the Dave and Buster's. So I text him and I say, King, get your butt at that Dave and Buster's or I'm coming back to pick you up. So maybe about 5 minutes later, I look back at my phone. I see he's inside of the Dave and Buster's
Okay.
or even within the
In the
vicinity.
vicinity.
Yep. So everything is cool, but still something I just did not feel right. So I'm looking, we out, and we waiting to, be seated. I'm still looking at my track. And she was like, girl, you keep looking at your phone. I said, I'm watching King trying to see what he doing. So I was like, all right, let me just calm my nerves. We sitting at the table, waiting, we ordering our food, and we're sitting at the table and we're talking. And I think it may be about 15 minutes had gone past. And I said, let me check my phone again. And I did. And I saw this time um, King wasn't where he was supposed to be. He was on Suitland Parkway, and I dropped him off in Capitol Heights. So I'm like, Suitland Parkway. I know my son know better because King, he's gonna listen if I tell him don't go anywhere. So I'm
Through the
calling.
parkway, a nice little distance away.
Yeah, so I'm calling his phone. He's not answering. I called Assad. He's not answering. So I called King's father, and I'm like, "Did you speak to King?" And he was like, "No. Where is he?" And I said, because King was supposed to go with his dad that weekend, but he was like, he wanted to go with his friends. I'll just go with my dad tomorrow.
Okay,
So
okay.
he said, "Why would you leave him? Why would you let him go out?" And I was like, "I mean, Dad, he been trapped in the house all this time. I just, I know where he is. I see his friends. I'm gonna pick them up." So he was like, "I'm gonna call him." So he was upset with me because literally we don't let him out. Calls him. Um, I'm still calling Asar. He's not answering. I'm calling King. I'm looking on Suitland Parkway. Now his phone is going on Stanton Road. So I'm like, what? My son don't even be in the city. So what
Oh,
the heck is going on?
right.
So after that, Assad calls me. I get the call from him, and I'm like, Assad, what's going on? Where y'all at? Why y'all not answering the phone? And I can just immediately hear it in his voice, and he's like, Miss McKnight, I gotta tell you something. Please don't be mad at me.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm like, what's going on, Assad? He's like, please promise you won't be mad. So I'm like, what's going on, Assad? I'm not gonna be mad. What's going on? So he was like, so we was out in the parking lot, and a fight had broke out. And I think it was I thought it was like a knife or something. Somebody had got stabbed or a gunshot or something. I said a gunshot because at first he was saying something about a stabbing. Then he said a gunshot. So I said gunshot. I said, okay, so what does that have to do with King? And he was like, Miss McKnight, he on the ground and he not.
Oh my God.
So immediately I get up in the restaurant and I'm
Wait,
just,
wait. So
mhm,
somebody took his phone?
yes, yep. So I'm gonna get to that. So I get up in the restaurant and immediately I didn't pay for my bill. I just got up off the table and I
Absolutely.
ran out. I'm calling my family, like, get up to the Dave and Buster's. I call at the time my boyfriend, which is my daughter's father, and I call him. I'm asking, where you at? He's like, I'm in the house. I said, get to the Dave and Buster's now. I think something happened to King. So as I'm running to my car, I'm still looking at my phone and the phone keeps moving. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's on his way to the hospital because I'm not hearing, I'm selective
Because you
hearing.
don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just felt like my body just, oh my God, I was just like freaking out. Kev, when I tell you I got in the car and as I'm in the car, I call my mom, I call my family, everybody is on their way up there. The police officer gets on the phone with me and I'm trying to talk to him. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, ma'am, we're trying to identify who it is out here. I can't tell you that it's him because we don't know who it is. He said, I need you to get here. And I said, so what can you tell me on the phone? And he was like, I can't discuss anything on the phone. Come up here, blah, blah, blah. We're here. He said, it's blocked off. But if you stop right here and come up, walk up, you'll be able. So I'm driving. When I tell you, I was in Northwest, I ran every single red light that I could run. I got there probably within 15, 20 minutes when it was probably going to be like a 30, 40-minute drive
Mhm.
from where I was. So I get there and I see the tape. I see all the officers. Um, I see the kids outside. So even still, my girlfriend's in the car and she's like, he's okay. And I was like, he ain't okay. I say, I'm telling you, as a mother, he's
You
not
know.
okay. I feel my son is not okay. My son didn't make it. And so she was like, just have, faith and at this time I'm upset. Like, don't tell me. I know my son is gone. Like, I'm trying to tell you. I feel it. And so I get up there, I get out my car, and I don't see my son. I see everybody else, but I don't see King. So I'm like, what's going on? Where's my son? So the police officer is still telling me that they don't know. They're trying to locate where he is. I'm looking at my GPS. At this time now, the person is on Stanton Road.
So you know clearly, you're like, okay, if his phone is on Staten Road,
Hmm.
how can he be here?
I'm thinking though, I'm like,
Is
okay, they made a mistake. Maybe he's on his way to the hospital. But I'm like, Greater Southeast is not there
is
anymore. Hospital is he at? Right?
right, and at this time, was the hospital at the Boulevard, was that open yet?
No.
Okay, okay,
So,
wow.
so
And it ain't no damn hospital on Stanton Road,
no,
so
no. So then that's when it was like, wait a minute, but there's no hospital around there. So, um, Lord Jesus, I'm just, I'm just still in shock. And at the time, I'm waiting for King's father. So he's calling me. He's like, King not answering. I know King is not here, but I'm not telling him. I'm telling him just to get here. By this time, my whole family is on scene, and so we was on scene for about a good hour and a half before I realized that
really,
and yeah, they didn't even tell me that my son was
see
still
that's see
right.
see see
So the reason why I knew was because King's father pulled up. He was in the car, and we was talking to Assad. And Assad's father, rest in peace. He passed away right after King on a motorcycle accident. Somebody hit him, and he passed in August. But he was so supportive. He told the police officers because they said we need him to come down to the police department. He said, "My son ain't talking to y'all until he tells her and give her the answers that she need for her son."
right.
So as we're talking, Assad is giving me the information of the person who killed my son. So I'm looking on social media and I'm trying to track and see who this person is. And I see who the boy is. And then he was explaining, I said, when was the last time you saw King? And he was like, he was over there. The last time he was out there, his father was asking, where did you see him? And he said, over there on the ground. And
Mm.
so his father was like, on the ground.
On the ground.
And so he was like, they put the white sheet on him. So,
Mm.
um, his father went off. He
Uh,
lost. I mean, when I say he lost it. I literally tried to run over there to my son because it's emotional. For an
mm,
hour and a half, I'm out here on
mm,
trying to figure out where my son is, and you
mm.
mean to tell me you couldn't tell me that my son is over here and
It's
it's
over
cold
there.
outside.
Exactly.
So I tried to get to the parking lot of the tropical smoothie. And the officers, it was probably about 5 officers, and they were trying to hold me, like saying, "You can't go over this. It's a homicide. It's a homicide case." I'm like, "A homicide?" I'm like, "My son is over there." So I'm fighting with the officer. I'm trying to get through them. I'm taking my shoes off, trying to run. I asked the officer prior to that, I said, "Is my son over there?" And he just looked, and it looked like he almost wanted to cry. And he was like, "My
Wow.
70 something years old fell out on the ground and was just rolling on the ground crying like, "Why didn't
Mm.
y'all?" And so I'm like, so my son is here. I could not be with my child. And it just, even if he was gone, I just wanted that moment
Absolutely.
to be over there to see my
Ab-
child.
Absolutely.
I'm cursing the officers out. I'm going off at this point. I still couldn't see my child. We stayed on scene, just trying to get. I was crying. I was just, I just let me tell you something. When you get that phone call that, your child is no longer here, I cannot even explain the feeling that leaves your body. I just felt like like I know I'm hearing what I'm hearing, but like I can't believe that I'm hearing what I'm hearing.
Right.
And so in my mind, I'm thinking about everything that I can do right now to reverse this
Right.
so that this will not be the reality that I have to move forward in.
Right. Right.
Right. So the police officer's like, I need you to go with me to the police station. I said, I'm not leaving my son out here.
Right.
Whatever you need to talk to me about, you need to talk to me now. So he tried to come talk to me a couple of times. I wouldn't come. Towards the end, they were waiting for the coroner's office to come in and, get his body.
An hour though. That's throwing me off. An hour.
But even with, I asked kids, I said, how long did it take you guys to, um, they said we kept calling and the lines were busy. But to move forward a little bit, um, so I went to the police department and they spoke to us. And I saw all the kids out there. They did their testimonies and everything else. The little boy didn't turn himself in, I think, until the next day. He had actually came home and took a shower, told his mom that he had gotten a fight and that he needed to go to testify the fight that went on. He didn't tell her the truth.
That he got into a fight. He
He
ain't tell
told
her
her,
what he did.
mm-mm.
Wow.
She didn't find out what he did until he got there and they were in the room and he confessed. And that's when his mother found out.
Wow.
So he was supposed to be up there. He was supposed to be at Pentagon Mall to go shopping for his birthday. His birthday is April 24th, and that happened on April 17th. So
Hmm.
and my son came on scene. My son came on scene at 11:56, and I had to tell my son happy birthday while we were on scene, bringing in his 18th birthday.
Wow.
So that was like the worst night ever. I was advised that they found out that a child gave him the gun to go over there and shoot. A little boy was stabbed on their end who was 13. Basically, a long story short, the boy came up to the Dave and Buster's to fight King's friend over a girl, and apparently they lost the fight, and he wanted to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
They kept telling him they was tired, and my son being the brave one, they kept calling from what I'm hearing from the kids. They kept calling the kids out. And they said, somebody gonna fight us again. We ain't leaving y'all alone. I heard one of the guys that worked at the Dollar General, he said they had a red beam on King's friend's head. Both of them were brothers who they came up there for. And they had red beams
Me.
on these boys' heads saying that they wanted those two boys. So long story short, King
What?
in a fight. Yeah, King ended up getting in a fight with one of the boys because from what what was told from his friend, um, he just wanted it to be over. So he was like, if I got to fight for them to leave us alone, I'll just do
Right.
it.
Right.
So he fought. And I have a video of King's last minutes fighting, like a clear video of
Are
my
you serious?
that video. I think it's a 10-minute video of King fighting. Even after King was fighting, the boy that shot him is behind King with the ski mask on his head. I see King looking at his mouth, checking his mouth out and everything. I have everything. Certain things I don't want to, address was in the video because I have things proceeding,
For sure.
but I see my son fighting. Um, and so the fight was over, and then they start jumping his friend. At the time, the friend that they jumped had King's phone. And so after they fought the friend, I guess they must have grabbed the phone, not knowing that it was King's, but
Right.
that's it up with the phone. Um, I was able to get the address, the building of where the phone was located. The detective wouldn't go to get the phone. So they kept King's phone. Evidence and everything could have been in there, and they kept it. So I feel that with the whole process, they dropped the ball. Um,
Wow.
they just didn't. And then fast forward, the boy who provided the gun, he was 15 at the time. Not only that, the bullet that he shot my son with was a hollow point bullet.
I heard.
Yeah, so you mean to tell me we're leaving guns and bullets like this on the streets in the hands of juveniles?
Hold on. So let me. I'm just trying to get some context. So your son at the time was what?
13,
Okay. His friend who called you was how old?
13,
Okay. The young man who gave the other young man the gun was how old?
15.
And the young man who actually did the
Shot
did
Well,
shot your son was 12. Can
he,
you see how crazy that's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, to me, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was a youngster, we all kind of dibbled and dabbled in some stuff.
Mhm.
But when I was 15, and I'm just gonna be honest, When I was 15, I carried a gun, right?
Mhm.
But I more so carried the gun because of where I lived, because
Right.
of where I grew up,
Right.
and kind of the things I was involved in. I didn't carry a gun to be, oh yeah, I got a gun. I carried a gun because you don't bother me, I ain't gonna bother you. It
Right.
wasn't, I'ma use it, or because I never, I mean, honestly, I never really used my gun. Like
Mm.
it was just you know how you got like your mace, or you got like your knife, and
Mhm.
if you go out and you and
Mhm.
somebody have, you don't
Mhm.
have to go over the top because you feel like you got something with you
Right.
that can help you if you.
Right.
So for me, a gun was just, man, cuz go ahead, cuz.
Mhm.
Because I don't gotta do that because I know what I got. So to
Right.
me to hit I mean, not 16, not 17, not 18. These are kids. These are
Babies.
children.
A
That's
baby.
that's crazy. And then to hear that he was shot in the back, I was like, I mean, excuse my French, that's some sucker shit. Like, you was a sucker. I mean, I tell some of the kids that I talk to, mentor, I, I say, listen, the worst thing you can do in life is to walk around and have somebody scared of you.
Absolutely.
I said, because when they scared of you, they not gonna confront you.
Mm-mm.
You're not gonna hear when it's coming. You're
Nope.
not gonna see when it's coming. It's just gonna happen.
Gonna sneak you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not, you know what I'm saying? And it's like now it's like rampant. Oh, I got a gun. I'm like, listen, and I know some kids may listen to this, so I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as I can. But guess what? You's a sucker. Because
Mm.
back in the day, even when we had guns, guess what the first thing we did? We
Mhm.
fought.
Absolutely.
We fought.
Mhm.
It was times I had guns on me. Hold this, Slim.
Mhm.
I'm gonna fight you because in my mind, if I beat your ass with my hands, that's worse than shooting you.
Mhm.
And I was just telling them, it hits him. You're not nowhere near him. I said, but what if they got rid of guns and only had knives on the street? Wouldn't nobody be getting stabbed? Because stabbing
Absolutely.
somebody is intentional and
Yeah.
it's up close and personal. And when
Absolutely.
that blade go in somebody, you can
Mhm.
hear it and you
Mhm.
can see the reaction of the person's body. And getting stabbed is actually worse than getting shot.
And yeah.
Yeah. So it's to me, it's just sad to hear all the way around. But when I start looking at these numbers and ages, I was just like,
Mhm.
wow. And so, an hour, right? And I did hear the piece about the father saying that he normally doesn't go out, and
Mhm.
I can kind of see, at that time being upset, but it's kind of hard continuing to be upset when you find out, what initially happened.
Mhm.
And it's hard to go back and say, okay, what could I have done different? And when you think about it, Kay, it was really nothing you could do different other than saying no.
Mhm.
Right? No, I don't want you to go. And then he be mad at you and you don't win out. He like, damn, I gotta stay home. So it's
Mhm.
like, as a mother, you like, look, I want my baby to be happy. I want
Right.
him to go out with his kids and hang out. And it's just unfortunate that that happened,
Mhm.
in the midst of it. But I do want to ask, within that clip, at the time of the incident, the young man was 12. And so you all have been going to court and going through all of that, and now the young man is he 14 or 15 now? Is he
Um,
still 14? About to
15.
turn 15? So he's 15.
Mhm.
So just rewind and then go back forward. So initially, when
Mhm.
you all went to court and you went to the arraignment and all of that, but okay, before we get to that, let me slow down. Before
Mhm.
we get to that, because I want to know something.
Okay.
When the mother found out what happened and what he did, what was her next steps in terms of showing you some type of respect?
No. She went off to run her mouth to so he's with I can easily expose them, right?
You don't have
But
to.
right. I don't because I'm not gonna give him that much. You know what I'm saying? Clout and power. So I choose not to. But she plays for he plays for a football team, and I was told that she was running her mouth to a lot of people on the football team, and she didn't know that I was connected the way that I am, and so a lot of things got back to me that this mom felt like we were picking on her son. She felt like
Wow.
deserved to be arrested because he was a child. So that was her response when we weren't in court.
Wait. So her son pulled the trigger,
Hmm.
committed the worst crime
That you can never commit on a
that you
person.
can commit. I mean, because even in the Bible, I think is it one of the first 10 commandments
Yep.
that thou shalt not kill,
Thou shalt not
right?
kill. Yep.
Okay, and so you're telling me you you're trying to excuse what your son did?
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused.
Because he's a child. He was a
What?
child.
But he pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So wait,
But
and
he
he
did
and
it.
he had a ski mask on.
Let's say this because his
Wow,
coach defended him as well. He
wow,
does in vengeance. That's what he wrote. Now this little boy was an honor roll student before he killed King. He put in the his report that he did it in vengeance because someone stabbed his friend, not King. King didn't stab your friend. So
wow,
you knew very well what you were doing, but he did it because his friend got stabbed. And his coach at the time was justifying it. Well, his friend got stabbed as well. That does not make up for the fact that it was okay for him to shoot and kill my child who had nothing to do with his friend being stabbed. So it wasn't until we were in court and she wanted to play this innocent role that she wanted to be remorseful. She wanted to show, I apologize for this, and my son has learned his lesson.
And how long ago had passed before she did that?
So King passed in April, and the court date was in May. It was in May
So
of the next year.
wait, so she was remorseful a year later?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
wow.
Still, she wasn't remorseful because anytime that you sit up there and you still talk mess about what happened, if you're remorseful, I'm sorry, right? And that's where we
Right,
leave. We're not gonna keep saying, "But my son this," "But my son that." You keep just
right,
you're
right,
be accountable for your child.
right,
Be accountable for your actions. And I told her that in court. You failed as a mother because as a 12-year-old, you didn't know where your son was at. Is a
right.
problem.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. The fact that I saw your son, I've been getting information as far as like pictures of what he does, and your son is drinking lean at the age of 12 years old. You understand me? So
Wow.
there's a lot about
And he an honor roll student?
I don't he, yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
So um
mm.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Wow.
ahead and so I'm up here, but we had court recently. That's what I will say. We had court recently,
Mhm.
and she's requesting to take him off of the home.
The monitoring. I heard about that. I heard
Yeah.
about that.
She's requesting to take him off of probation. I'm sorry because he's already off the home monitoring system device.
But the part that I'm confused about, because again, for some reason, I am a DC. I was a DC resident, born and raised in DC.
Mhm.
Lived on 6th Street Southeast all my life. Everybody knows that. So whenever I got in trouble for some reason, I always got in trouble in PG County for whatever
Mhm.
reason it was, right?
Mhm.
And so going through the juvenile justice system in Prince George's County, I'm very familiar. So I
Mhm.
guess my question is, like when this happened, how is it that the young man was able to get bond and go home after a murder charge?
Because of
I
the
can't.
judge, Judge Kilo, Judge Kilo. He allowed Peter Kilo in Prince George's County. He does not believe in accountability. He believes in rehabilitation, which means to not hold a child in detention confinement.
Wow.
So
Even though this young man, I can't say premeditated because I wasn't there, wasn't involved. But when
it's
you put a ski,
premeditated.
but hold on,
Yeah.
when you put a ski mask on,
Mhm.
you know for a fact you get ready to do something wrong.
Mhm.
So in my mind, that's kind of,
Mhm.
and then even in the report, oh, the young man didn't, he doesn't understand the dynamic of what's going on. Yeah, he might not, but he know what he was doing when he
Mhm.
did
He
it.
went. He went and let's not forget. He went and got that gun. He walked over in the bushes to his other friend and got the gun. He didn't have that gun on him, so he walked to get the gun and then came back. And then you pointed it in a crowd of 100 kids, and he said that he didn't intend to hit anyone. So
So
what were you doing?
what was your plan? See again, that's the thing about the mind. When we talk about kids that's 17, 18, or they grown, they not grown. They
Absolutely.
they might be built like they grown, they might act like they grown, but
Hmm.
mentally they not grown. They
They're not
still
grown.
kids.
Yep.
They
The
still
mind's still
kids. And
developing.
and I mean,
Absolutely.
I can understand, not understanding the severity of
Hmm.
what happened. I get that. But Jan, there is a life that's gone now because of this young man.
Hmm.
So what are we doing? Like,
Right.
I understand you might not like rehabilitate, but what do we do with him? We put him back on the street with an
Hmm.
ankle monitor where he can
Hmm.
still have access to a gun, go do what he, I mean, I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm really
The
confused.
the the judge said that you have a bright future ahead of you. Yeah, it was like a
Okay.
slap in the face. Like,
Hey,
am I
stop
sitting in
it.
this courtroom? They are so for this is the justice system. Period. They are so for the suspect versus the victim because they feel like the victim is no longer here. So right now, what we have in our courtroom is what we have to deal with and what we have to fix. Your son is no longer here, so we're not really too concerned about him. Truth be told,
Ah, that
they're
is
worried about rehabilitating, and then the rehabilitation. You in the detention center and you have someone coming to talk to you what? Every other day?
right. Like, okay, and so even when he's home, he has the monitor on. They know where he is. If he's going to school or not, because I feel like he shouldn't be able to go to school at all. Like at
Well,
this
they
point.
kicked him out when they found out he was
Oh, okay,
in. Yeah,
okay. Because
Charles
I can
County
already
kicked
say
him
at this
out.
point you a menace to society. Like nah.
Charles County kicked him out. That's when he was staying with his coach. Charles County found out and they kicked him out. The school that he's in now, from my understanding, he's in another he moved in another county and he's at that school presently. So I don't know if they are aware of his crime on what he committed.
Of course they don't, though. Of course they
Right.
don't, though.
Right.
Of course, I mean, because I don't think any school administration would know that that's the type of child that they got in their school and be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to welcome them with open arms." I mean, I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to discriminate. I'm not trying to say
Mhm.
kids don't, you know, change or. But this is.
Right.
I mean, this is 2021. This is just
Mhm.
2023.
Mhm.
And I mean, and just for my clarification, okay, the mother was remorseful a year later. Has the young man reached out to you at all? Has he said, "I'm sorry, I apologize"?
I apologize to your family. The cliche things that they say when they're in court to make it look good.
So it's
That's
not
it.
like
It
really
wasn't sincere. Because guess
like
what? Not to cut you off, but you say all of this, but then you go on in front of King's friends or you on the phone and you saying ha ha ha, y'all laughing. King ass can't laugh because his ass dead.
oh
So
wow.
how are you so remorseful when you say things like this? So I don't accept the apologies at all. You know how triggered I was to hear the recording of him saying that?
I mean, listen, I can't imagine what you feel if you still even watch that video. I mean, because at the end of the day, now I'm gonna bring it to a point where I'm a father.
Mhm.
My oldest daughter is 30. A lot of people like, damn, what?
Mhm.
My oldest daughter is 30. My youngest baby girl is 10.
Oh, it just
Um,
registered that you said you had a 30-year-old, Kev. You look good.
so
Black don't crack.
so but can you imagine? I'm in Florida. My daughter's in Maryland. God forbid something happens. I get a phone call. Oh, this, and this. I'm not catching no flight home.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be on nobody's itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get to the area, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Okay, let me. Because at that
Mm-hmm.
point, let me do me. What I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do, I'm gonna take all responsibility for what I'm gonna do. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like at the end of the day, the way the society is built up, what is it? Oh, you gotta show me. Guess what, nigga? I'm gonna show you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show you, cuz, and I'm not that I'm big and bad and I'm this, that. But guess what? I'm gonna show you, your mother, your father, your cousins. I don't play like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that really know Kevin know that I don't. I'm a laugh. I'm a joke with you. I'm a play. I'm a kind-hearted person.
I know
I
your
got a
temper.
lot
You
of.
forgot I used to work with you.
No, I mean, but even when you worked with me, I still was growing though, because I was going through a divorce, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot going on with me. But now, in the state that I am now, nothing changes the fact that I'm from 6th Street Southeast. Nothing's gonna
Mm-hmm.
change that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you fuck with my family,
Mm-hmm.
we we got a problem. And if the
Mm-hmm.
court not gonna do it, then guess what? We listen. I'm not promoting violence, but we've all seen what was the movie with Denzel when
Training day? Not training day.
no with his son, and they wouldn't give him the
Oh
treat,
yeah, 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 yeah. I know the movie that you're
and
speaking
he went fucking crazy. You you
of.
you you listen, you slept.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I wanted to talk to you, because I was like, damn, I'm wondering at what point did that mind cross, like did that thought cross her mind, and she was just sitting in her house like, you know what? See, and by that face, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the courts don't understand that if you don't do your fucking job, somebody is. And
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but guess what? Street uh I don't want to call it vengeance,
Vengeance. That's what it is.
but you don't want the streets to solve the problem.
Right.
We are civil, so we want the courts to do what the fuck we think is required.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the streets do it, now you got multiple situations, and most like it's shit
Mm-hmm.
can go left. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
it's just sad that damn. And I'm just thinking about this tape, man. I could just imagine you seeing him fighting and just
I can't even watch. I
like
can't
that's
even watch.
crazy.
It's the last part of my son, and I try to. I can't watch it. When I was requested to send the video to someone, um, I told him, I said, "Sir, you're gonna have to get it from the other guy that I sent it to, because literally, when I go to my photo album, I can see him already in his stance with the little boy, and the boy was older than him. That's what's
John
crazy."
Q. Thank you,
Yep,
Miss
John
Moore.
Q.
John Q.
Thank you, Tazzy. Yeah,
Yes,
John
yes,
Q. Yes, yes,
yes.
yes. So I can't, like, the emotions. So at the end of the day, I have mixed emotions. I think any mother who
Absolutely.
has lost their child, right? Because you always say, if something happened to my kids,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap, right?
It's a wrap. Listen, not to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
Even though me and my youngest daughter's mother, might not be on the best of terms,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
something happened to that little girl, I can almost guarantee I might not be the first, but when she called me, she already know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
This will happen. Oh, for real? Oh, all right. That's all I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say. Oh, all
Mm-hmm.
right. I'm gonna hang up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make 2 phone calls and I'm out. No, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm out, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what we. I mean, at the end of the day, if we not gonna protect our kids, if we not gonna protect our community, who the fuck gonna do it? The police not gonna do it. You telling me you was there for an hour and
Yep.
your son laying on the ground with a white sheet for an hour?
Yep. I
That's
didn't
just
even.
like Kanithia. They come to her house and want her to identify the body, but they coming to her house with gloves on and acting like what the. Wait a minute. I mean, I don't even know what's going on yet, but
Mhm.
you're at my door
Mhm.
being the aggressor. Like what?
Mhm.
What's
Yeah.
going on? Like, come on.
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
it's I mean, for me, it's just throwing me off how when I go on social media and I say, you know, I don't know why the mayor hasn't said it. I don't know why Angela also Brooks hasn't said it yet. But the area, DC, Maryland, I'm not saying I'm skipping Virginia, but DC and Maryland,
Mhm.
it's in a state of emergency. And
Yeah.
oh, it ain't no emergency. It's regular shit. It's regular
Well,
shit.
she's not Mayor Bowser is not singing that same tune anymore. And Angela
But
also Brooks, I speak with her personally, so she's not, she knows what it is
but but
when it
but
comes to
but
these
but but
crimes.
but Mayor Bowser's
Mhm.
act now legislation is some bullshit. I'm all over that. Like people thinking I'm in Florida, I'm not hip. I'm hip. I don't
Mhm.
talk about everything. And I
Mhm.
talk to, people in DC government. I talk to police officers. Like people, like when I say stuff on social media, people be like, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen,
Mhm.
one thing about Kevin, I'm not the smartest person on the planet.
Mhm.
But if I'm speaking about something, it means I've already talked to somebody. I've already
Mhm.
had conversations with people. I'm not just
Right.
bringing this up. I've talked to 7 DC residents in different areas of the city, and they say the same shit. I'm scared to go get gas.
Yes.
I'm scared to just go get on the bus to go. You scared? Yeah,
Mhm.
these youngins crazy.
Mhm.
And I mean, I used to be one of them youngins, so I defend them a little bit because I'm like, a lot of the shit that they do, they screaming out for help. We don't really know how to figure out what they need, and that's kind of why I'm in the nonprofit area now because we got to figure out a way to help our kids because if not, we are this generation that we
We
speaking
do.
of, the youngest, they Social Security for
Yeah.
what? I'm not
Yeah.
thinking. I got to be on my grind because there ain't gonna
Mhm.
be no Social Security. They don't even
Mhm.
go to school.
No.
They don't even
We
go
are
to
actually,
school.
we are actually, DC has now topped other states. DC and Memphis is the number two most dangerous,
I saw the
highest
list.
homicides
I
in
saw the
America.
list. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, from previous, from years that were bad, they're comparing the numbers. We up 36% in murders.
Mhm. But see, the difference is now, is back in the days, it was always street stuff, right? The OGs or the street guys, they knew their boundaries.
That's a
Older
whole nother
people were off
conversation.
limits. Kids
That's
were off limits. Now we have children who are killing and they have no morals, no values, no care in the world. They
but
are
what
reckless. They don't care who
but
they
watch
hit.
this though. But watch this though. And it's a whole nother conversation. We can get into it later. But
Hmm.
watch this though. You say the OGs, right?
Hmm.
I
We don't
got
have
into a
those now.
I got into a debate with
Hmm.
a dude. He just
Hmm.
came home. He been home maybe like 6 months. He on the other side of Southeast, F
Hmm.
Street. I'm gonna just say F Street, that side of Southeast.
Okay.
And there's a beef going on between two neighborhoods near F Street. And if you know the area, you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
One is starts with an S, the other one starts with an E, right?
Hmm.
And so we out there talking, and he talking to the youngins. He talking about, yeah, I remember back in the day when we used to woo 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 and whoop de whoop de whoop. And I'm talking about he in his 50s,
Hmm.
and he talking to some youngins that's 18. And
Hmm.
he talking about, yeah, so what y'all should do, y'all should man go and woo 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 just off GP. I stopped him. I said, yo, what are you talking about? You want these young niggas to go do something that you did when you was their age 40 years ago?
They're misguided.
What the fuck that got to do with them?
Hmm.
Nothing. Oh
Hmm.
man, what you talking about, man? It's the street. I said, man, that's the dumbest shit I've heard
Yeah.
in years. Oh, he got
Hmm.
mad at me.
Hmm.
Oh man, you must be one of them soft niggas. And guess what, cuz? At the end of the day, cross this imaginary line and I'm gonna show you how soft I am, son. I'm trying to tell you. But it ain't about that. It's about
Right.
why are we coming home and why are these youngins listening to niggas that's coming home from jail talking
Hmm.
nonsense versus listening to niggas that's out here,
Hmm.
that's doing shit. You
Hmm.
listening to a nigga that's been in jail 30 years, he
Because
ain't
they
gonna come
respect
home and give you
those.
nothing.
They respect those. They feel like those are the ones that has been into. They understand. They
That's
respect
what
them.
that's what's throwing me off. Like if
Hmm.
I'm home, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been in the can a couple times. I
Hmm.
ain't do 30 years. I ain't do 20 years. And I
Hmm.
always tell people, maybe it was because I wasn't supposed to, because I
Mhm.
didn't move like everybody else
Right.
moved. I moved
Mhm.
by myself. I ain't falling into the trends. So yeah, I got locked up a couple times, but I ain't do all them bigs. But that don't take nothing away from my experience being locked up or being in the street. Cause I
Mhm.
remember I had another conversation. Niggas was like, nigga, you ain't do no 5, 10 year big. You don't really know. What?
Mhm.
That don't even make sense. So I gotta go to jail for 15 years to be considered an OG? Nigga, y'all sound crazy,
Put
man.
them in
Y'all
perspective.
sound crazy. And
Yeah, it's
if this
unfortunate.
and if this is what these youngers is following, oh God bless them.
Mhm.
God
It
bless
is.
them. Cause I'm
It most
I'm
definitely is.
oh
Yeah. Yeah. We have social media now. We have these kids are exposed to too much. We have social media. The big thing is parent accountability. That's
mm-hmm.
what we're failing at. We're failing at the parent accountability. These parents are not parenting their children the way that we were parents. It's as far as with the morals, the values,
Yes.
the discipline.
Yes.
It's different. They are trying to be friends with their kids. They care about their kids' opinions. They care about their kids not liking them.
Yes.
So this is where we're failing at as parents. I blame the parents. It starts in a household. It absolutely does.
So can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
I'm in my group. Um, we brought up two conversations. One was punishment,
Mhm.
and it was like 75. No. It was like 60-35.
Mhm.
A lot of people feel like because we were beaten the way we were punished the way we were, they don't necessarily think that that was the right way to be disciplined. So they want to, you know, try to remix it a little bit and not be as thorough. I get it.
Mhm.
Because my daughter's 10. I don't think I hit Gianna on her butt maybe one time.
Mhm.
But I don't have to.
Right.
Because if you do something and I ask you not to do it and my face changed, she can just turn and
You
look
already
at me and be
know.
like, oh shit,
Mhm.
ain't gonna do that again.
Mhm.
Right?
Fathers
Right?
are different, right?
Right? And so my question to the second conversation was, okay, so if you saying we gonna switch up the discipline part, right? How much accountability does the parent hold? Because I talked about a story that was up in Northwest, young man, teenager, shot another teenager at a gas station. Mother, after the shooting, young man ran off. Mother, I guess he pulled up to the scene with a scooter or some type of scooter. She took the scooter, and the police were able to follow her home from the cameras in the neighborhood. So
What?
she took the scooter home that he had, and they ended up going to her apartment. But they didn't know that this was his mother yet. They were just saying this was a person of interest because she
Mhm.
was at the scene.
Right, right.
Knock on her door,
Mhm.
asking her questions, come to find out this is the mother. She has watched her son kill somebody at the gas
Accessory.
station.
Yep.
And after he killed this person, he went one way, she went the other way.
Mhm.
So my question was, okay, yes, she did not commit the murder. Yes, she did not pull the trigger. Yes. But what type of accountability do she need to have in this situation?
Mhm.
Oh, she don't need to be locked up. She ain't kill him. Okay, I'll give you that. But you still ain't told me what type of accountability she need to have though.
Right.
Because she was there. She
Mhm.
watched him do it. She didn't try to prevent him from doing it.
Mhm.
She ain't talked to him. She left the scene.
Mhm.
So what type of accountability does the parent get? So
And
somebody
how
was
old was
saying,
he? How old was he?
if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the young man who was shot was either 15 or 16,
So he was
and the young
underage.
man who shot him was 16 or 17.
Okay, so he was still a child.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what type of accountability do we give parents? So somebody was like, well, if she on child support, take her child support away from her.
Is that the solution?
Okay. I mean, listen, y'all giving me ideas. I'm just saying, okay. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
say how stupid that is. I'm not gonna, I'm just trying to start for me, a lot of times, even when I post shit,
Mhm.
100%, I'm not saying I agree with what I post. I'm
Mhm.
posting it to see, okay, what do people think? Let me hear
Mhm.
what you think. Kevin,
Mhm.
why would you post this? Listen,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, don't worry about why I posted it. Tell me how it's making you feel.
Mhm.
Tell me what you feel about it. Because I tell people all the time, when I post something, don't get caught up in me posting it and you thinking what I'm thinking when I post it.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
sometimes I post shit that I don't agree with at all. But I just
Right.
want to see what you think.
Right.
to get an
Right.
idea from you. So when you
Mhm.
tell me, oh yeah, child support can be one of the things that can be taken away from the mother if she ain't clearly she not doing what she's supposed to do with the child. Okay, that could be an idea, but this is
Well,
a murder.
I definitely I posed this when we had a meeting with my group of strong ass mothers. We had a meeting with Mayor Bowser, and for me, I believe that these children who are committing these offenses that are on Section 8 housing vouchers need to get their vouchers taken away.
I
And
would agree
so
with that.
Mayor Bowser, she feels that, well, if we do that, then it'll be a lot of homeless families. So that's not going to help the situation. Well, then make them take a class or something, because guess what? You have a recertification time period that you have to recertify. And if
Yeah.
your child technically, because I was reading it, because this boy who shot King is on Section 8. So in certain jurisdictions, of course, they require, like, if you commit a certain offense, a crime, you immediately get kicked off the program. So that was one of my solutions. Like, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're committing crimes, they need to be kicked off the program. So I mean, as
So
far as
so
the
let
child
so
support,
so I'm looking at the comments and let me just tell Miss Nikki, I'm sorry to hear
oh yeah,
that
Miss
that happened to
Nikki.
your son. That
Mhm,
is that. I mean, I'm the type of person that when I hear stuff like this, I don't take it for granted. And
mhm,
I was a youngster. I've
mhm,
seen some shit. I've done some shit. Not gonna say I'm not gonna say I'm proud of what I did. But one thing I will say is I would never want to change anything that's happened to me because everything that's happened to me, good or bad, has me sitting in this seat where I am now. If I would have changed anything, I don't know, where I would have ended up. I mean, quick story. I used to steal cars all the time, and I remember one time I got caught and it was like a Thursday or Friday night. I go to the police station. The officer is like, "Okay, we need to call your parents." I'm like, "All right, call my father. Hey, this is his number." He was like, "Call your father." I'm like, "Yeah." Gave him his number real quick. He's like,
mhm.
"Well, what's your mother number?" I said, "No, no, 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 no. Don't call my mother. Call my father." So some kind of way he got my mother number, and I'm in the cell. He talking to my mother. So he talking to my mother, and I can hear him explaining. Yeah, we got him in here on a unauthorized use of a vehicle. Da, 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 da. And then he was like, "Oh, hold on." And then he put the phone on speaker. He was like, "Ma'am, he can hear you." She was like, "He can hear me." He was like, "Yeah, he can hear you." She was like, "Have a good weekend," and hung up the phone.
I love her.
You feel me? So if we don't have parents like that, if we not going, I'm not saying
Absolutely.
beat the shit out your child. I'm not saying, but if we not going to have some type of structure or some
Mhm.
type of something with our
Mhm.
children, what are they gonna do?
Mhm.
They gonna run fucking wild. And I mean,
Mhm.
when that phone hung up, and I looked at that officer, you know what I said? I said, "Cuz, I thought I told you to call my father, man." He was like, "Cuz, your mother said have a good weekend." Man, I was pissed off. I was pissed.
That's what we
I was
need.
pissed. I was
Yes,
pissed.
you
So
learn though.
So I just feel like, even with your conversation and you said badass mothers, is that the name of the group?
Strong ass mothers.
Strong ass mothers. Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like, at some point, let me come home, let me, figure out, the next time y'all gonna meet and let's have a discussion, and
Mhm.
let me just put it on camera and
Mhm.
so people can hear other because it's I feel like if you don't see it, you don't know.
Mhm.
And the same thing with Kenethia as yourself. People
Mhm.
need to see and hear because when I posted that, I didn't expect to get as many comments as I got, but I'm looking at the comments and it's people that got kids. And they like,
Mhm.
what happened?
Mhm.
12 years old. What the
Mhm.
fuck? I mean,
Mhm.
like that's unheard of. I mean, I'm not saying it's unheard of, but it's for the people that say, oh, it's just the city, or it's just the area. Nah,
Mhm.
nah, because because there's another conversation about the guys that are my age that aren't. Hey, man, nah. Let me holler at
Mhm.
you. No disrespect, because that's how you got to be now. No
Mhm.
disrespect, because you
Mhm.
don't know what they're gonna do. I'm
Right.
coming with love, homie.
Right.
Because if you do what you get ready to do, you looking at football numbers, Slim. Let me just holler at you real quick.
We don't
You
have
know
that anymore because God,
what?
let me tell you something. We don't have that because nowadays when you talk to a child, you got to be careful with how you approach these kids. You know, back in the days, neighbors was looking out for the parents while your
Listen,
parents was at work. You got neighbors that didn't know you.
back in the day, you got your ass whooped twice, and then when your mother got home, you got your ass whooped again. So you
There you
got three
go.
ass whoopings.
There you go. But
Oh, well,
these
I gotta
older
go to
folks.
work, but his mama be home in a minute,
Yeah.
and let him stay here to his mom. What he do?
Mhm.
Oh, he so Joyce done whoop my ass, the neighbor done whoop my ass, and now when
Mhm.
my mother, I'm like, hey, this is a bitch. I done got
Mhm.
whooped 3 times.
Mhm.
These
We don't
kids
have
not
that.
getting none of that. Yeah, they not
We
getting
don't
none of
have
that,
that
man.
because people are scared. Like I talked to some of the who I thought were OJs at one point,
Yeah.
and they say, "Look, we got to be careful with how we approach these children
No, I
because
agree.
they're reckless."
And so I feel like, you know, even with my organization, we are trying to meet and come up with different creative ideas. I've spoken to many, people who have ran other programs just to touch base with them to see. And I'm willing to buy food. I'm willing to buy Chick-fil-A. I'm willing to buy Domino. I'm willing to buy because these some hungry youngins and they love to eat. So I'm like, if I can bring you some food and
Mhm.
we talk. If I got to pay you $20, because I know your mother probably can't afford for you to come and Uber or whatever. If I got to Uber you here once a week, just so y'all can sit down and man, what's going on?
Right.
Because if you open up, I'm gonna open up. If you tell me, oh yeah, woo woo, I might say, well, you know what? When I was 12, I did this. When I was
Mhm.
15, I did this. Oh, for real? And matter of fact, you look familiar. What's your uncle?
Right.
You got uncle named such and such and such and such. And
Mhm.
now, oh, you know my uncle? Now they gotta do their homework because they go
Mhm.
home, they talk to their uncle. Hey, yeah, you know this dude named Kevin? Okay,
Mhm.
dog. Oh yeah, that's my man. Woo woo. Now you come back to the meeting next week. Now you talking to me
Right.
because
Yeah.
because I'm validated now.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't care what we got to do, but we got to do something. I
Yes.
got I got a young man. He working in the Highlands area, and he's coming up with preventative way. That's what I like to hear. Preventative, not
Mhm.
just let's try this. Like no prevention. What can we
Mhm.
do? I
Right.
mean, again, where are the basketball courts? Where are the
Mhm.
recreation centers? Where are
Mhm.
the like what like? I mean,
Yeah.
even for us and for Type Inc. My partner Hood, he kind of is a basketball connoisseur. He played basketball for Delaware State, great basketball player. And he's one of the guys who's when he's driving around in the areas, he like, man, I go to some of these playgrounds, ain't no basketball courts up.
They
The
took the
rims
nets
is
out.
gone. Like it's
They
like
took the nets out.
what type of alternative are you giving these kids other than like you
Mhm.
say at home
Mhm.
drinking lean,
Mhm.
current. Now you got this ghost guns where they can make the gun on from the computer. Like
Mhm.
what? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Come
But they're
on,
coming
dog.
out. They're coming out with a bill for that. I'm in a group, and they're trying to pass a law to where the parts of the ghost guns you get charged just as you would for a regular gun.
What? It's the
So.
same. It's the same effect.
Mhm.
Same
Absolutely.
effect. Like
Yeah.
come on. Like it's
Yeah.
just it's unfortunate. It's sad. It's so many things I could say, but what I can say is I appreciate your tenacity. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you kind of, keeping it going, talking to these mothers, talking to, these people, in Maryland. What's my man you say you spoke to?
Which one?
Um, the bald head dude, the glasses, with the
Glen
beard.
Ivy?
Ivy. That was that cool dude. I met him
Okay.
once. Cool
Yes.
dude, cool dude.
He's very cool. Yes.
And because if to me, I feel like if this, and I don't
That's
want to
one
say,
of my moms right there. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tiffany Evans. That's one of my moms who was in
hey
the
Tiffany, hey
yeah, she
Tiffany.
lost her son. Her son is the 8-year-old who was shot and killed in Landover
Oh
by a
wow.
stray bullet while eating tacos.
What?
Literally, she said that they came around the neighborhood for her cousin. They was shooting. She was standing outside. And out of all the bullets that these three boys shot, that one bullet hit her son. She went in
And
their apartment and
you,
saw.
you you see how unfortunate
Yeah,
that is? Like that's just so
yeah,
unfortunate. And
yeah.
like, how do we sit down with these young men and just do you know what you just did? Like, do
Mhm,
you know because Scared Straight program when I was in Upper Marlboro, I
mhm,
took that shit serious because I was at a point in my life. My daughter mother, my oldest daughter mother, brung my daughter to Upper Marlboro,
mhm,
and I think at this time my daughter's like I don't think she's one. She's like months.
mhm,
And we in the visiting joint. CO come and get me. You got a visitor. I'm like, a visitor? I'm like, all right. So I go in the room and I see my daughter mother and I see the baby. And my daughter is just, she a baby. She just moving around and my daughter mother is talking to me. And the whole time I'm looking at my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm looking at my daughter, I'm seeing how, not lifeless, but just carefree, and she just a baby. I get to crying.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, mother, why you crying? I couldn't explain to her why I was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Visit was over. I went back to my cell. One of the OGs came. He saw me crying. He came to my cell. He was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, my daughter mother and my daughter just came, and I'm flooded." He told me look up back. He said, "Slim, you got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't no good for her if you in here, Slim."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "At the end of the day, you way smarter than this shit. You
Mm-hmm.
need to get out of here." And from that day forth, I mean, Slim was just in my ear. And I'm like, if I could be one of the people that a lot of men in my life in my ear. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, we hard headed. We boys until we
Mm-hmm.
grow to be men. We hard headed. We hard headed.
Yep.
But we need it though. We need somebody in our ear
Mm-hmm.
regularly. So we gotta figure out a way. You know,
I'm looking at Nikki's comment where she says, "So sad because the children in my neighborhood can't even go to the Boys and Girls Club because other children think that they own it and
yeah,
threaten them."
yeah.
And that's
That's
what's
crazy.
unfortunate. You know what
That's
I'm saying? That's
crazy.
real.
That's
But it's
crazy.
it's to the point where these Boys and Girls Clubs need officers. It's
Right.
it's gotten to that point. If you
Right.
know that that is the issue, we have to start coming up with solutions. Like I've told so many people to hop onto this live. I got so many people that they send their support and I appreciate it. But the real support is right now trying to come up with solutions. And
Something.
so it just baffles me that a lot of the parents that had children out there that night, they see my post and it's just like my son is gone. They still got their kids. I'm just being real. And I feel like they don't care at this point. I'm not going to
What?
say they don't care, but I feel like they have their children. So for me, if it was the other way around and it was
Absolutely.
King who was still here
Absolutely.
and his friend, whichever one of those boys or girls were out there and passed
A-
away, I
Absolutely.
would be totally supportive, right?
Correct.
Because it could have been my child,
Correct.
right? My son saved that bullet. Because my son was a sacrifice, and I feel he saved a lot of children out there because it could have been anybody's child
Right.
out
Right.
there.
Right.
So for this to happen, and all of these parents, and I'm still connected to a lot of these children. Tazzy, that's on here, she's actually Salonda Moore. She has supported me. I love you. She has supported me since day one. I
That's
don't
what's
care
up.
what I have. Tazzy is present every single time. Her daughter was out there that night. So
Wow.
she's present every single time. It should be every single parent on calls,
Absolutely.
on events and stuff like this, trying to get laws passed. And
Yeah.
that is the problem that we don't have the support. Everybody is comment because they see me on the news or TikTok and they want to show that they know me and whatever the situation.
It's
We
not
love you and
genuine.
I'm like, but you weren't even there when I
Yeah, it's
went to
not
court.
genuine.
You don't call me. I've never seen you since my son passed. So don't sit up here and I appreciate the real genuine love, but let's just put the cheese on the crackers. It's a lot of fake people out
Ooh.
here that just want to say that they know you because of the highlights and because you're in this type of, you know what I'm saying, media, the media that they're showing. So I just feel like the support, like with Tiff, we had a red table talk back in November where we called the legislators out, and it's a lot of legislators that couldn't come because they were out of town, but there were a lot of ones that could have came and didn't come. That room should have been packed.
Right.
Chuck EU Sugar Bear came, Police Malik Azizu came out and he supported. But there should be way more people on this live that I've shared. You see how I've been promoting. There should be way more mothers, fathers, and people on this live trying to come up with solutions. Everybody talk about they're tired of the crimes that's happening, but what are you doing to contribute to us
Listen.
having something different
Listen.
than what we are
Listen.
used to?
Listen. Listen. Let's keep it a brick. If it don't happen to me and mine,
You're not affected.
yeah. If it don't happen to me and mine,
But guess what? But you are, because guess what? At
it,
any given time, the carjackings, your
exactly.
mom, your grandmother, they
Exactly.
don't care. So we are
Exactly.
all at risk right now. And it's going
Exactly.
to get worse. I'm telling you.
Oh,
I literally spoke to one of the little boys that did the armed robberies, 15 years old for King's Court case last week.
Wow.
So I'm telling you now that if we do not get a grip on it, if we do not go back to being a village and not just looking at it as that's their problem, we are going to be in a full of, I'm
And,
telling you.
and one of the things, because I follow Kirk Bone on Kirk Bone TV on YouTube, and he interviewed Red Grant not too long ago. And one of the things Red Grant said is it's no more neighborhood. It's just hood.
And
It's
the
no more
hood
neighborhood.
and the hoods are next door to each other and they beefing with each other. It's
So
crazy.
it's wild.
It's crazy.
It's
Like back in the days, the
incomprehensive to
hoods would
us.
roll together.
Yeah, it's incomprehensible to us because that's not how we grew up. Like we came outside, we played double dutch, we rode our bikes, we played throwback football. You know, if our mother said, "Hey, that motherfucking street light come on," I ain't saying come in the house, but I need to be able to see you when I open this door. I mean, it was just certain, like you say, certain rules that was understood didn't need to be explained back then. Because if
Absolutely.
you knew if you broke that rule, you gonna get your ass whooped or you gonna be
Absolutely.
some type of punishment. And now with these youngins, it's not like you say, it's
Mm-hmm.
no accountability. And I don't
No.
want to just leave it with the kids because a lot of the accountability is with the parents. And
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten into heated conversations
Me too.
with parents. Oh, and I'm doing my best, and you're not doing your best. So I got into a conversation with a young lady and I'm not mentoring her son, but I know her son. Got his phone number. I text him every now and then. And she got me so mad. I'm just listening to her. I'm quiet. I'm listening to her. And I didn't mean to use the tone of voice that I use because, I can't get loud. But I turned to look at her. I said, where the fuck your son at now? What you
Mm-hmm.
mean? I said, you know where your son at now? Because I know where he at.
Mm-hmm.
She got quiet. You don't even know where your son at. You ain't here arguing with me, cussing me out, and you don't even know where he at. But I know where he at.
Right.
I don't know what he doing, but I know where he at.
Right.
Sad is, you don't know where he at though. But you in here bitching and complaining and fussing at me about me trying to talk to parents. And, oh, you don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is
They
your
get
son though?
defensive. A lot of the parents get
Like
defensive
what?
when you start talking about, when
Come
you start
on.
questioning something that they're lacking on, they get defensive. Let me tell you
Eh,
something.
But
My
I'm
son
not
is
questioning.
20
But
years old.
I'm not questioning your parenting skills. I'm
Right.
not questioning none of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking, what could we be doing better?
To change.
And you fighting me. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say, "Where's your son?" I text him.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at, Slim?
Mm-hmm.
Why she's fussing at me? Oh, I'm at such and such and such, Mr. Kevin. Oh, why? You know where
Mm-hmm.
your son at?
Mm-hmm. You
What
don't
you
know.
mean? What the fuck you mean? Do you know
Mm-hmm.
where your son at?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I?
Absolutely.
Why would I know where he at? What?
Mm-hmm. My son is 20 years old, about to be 21. Do you know I call my son every day? I literally try to track his phone and ask him where he is. I don't care how grown you are or how grown you think you are. I'm still your mother. And I give him that space. But I do check in. Where are you at? And I still let him know you better not be getting into no trouble. I don't care how old you are. You better not
So,
ever let me find out.
so Miss Nikki said, "Where's the outrage for black on black crime? There is none. There is no outrage. People talk so greasy about Charleston White, and I got so like, let me see what this dude is really about. And now that I've really been listening to him, and because he tells you when I'm in character, don't listen to me. But
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not in character and I'm talking to you as Charleston White, the man, I've heard 7 interviews with
Mm-hmm.
Charleston White, the man. Man,
Mm-hmm.
that man make all sense in the world, Joe. All
Mm-hmm.
sense in the world. But
Mm-hmm.
but he's so misunderstood because people let the ignorant shit that he say, that's the only thing that they remember. And so when she say, where's the outrage for black on black crime, that's one of the things that he talk about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not saying we promoting violence, but why is the dude that killed Trayvon Martin still breathing?
And
I hope
he
they don't.
he and
I
you
hope they
see
don't cut me off for this, but that's just a question. Like, you mean to tell me you can have Tamir Rice, prime example. Tamir Rice is at the park
he.
playing by himself. Cops
Mm-hmm.
around, ping, 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 and the police officer pulls up immediately. Put your gun down. Wait, what? What are you
Mm-hmm.
talking about? Gun? What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. So you we get outrageous when white officers or cops do something to us, but when we do it to each other, oh, man, that's just That's just regular shit.
They use it exactly.
Ah,
They
that's not
used to it.
regular, bro.
Hmm.
Dying in
Right.
the middle of the street in front at 10, 12, 13. That's not regular, bro.
Hmm.
That's not regular, bro. That's not
Yeah.
regular. So
So we definitely need to come
I
up
do
with
get a
something.
little little passionate about
I do too. I do
because
too.
I
Look.
because I've been in the street.
Hmm.
I see it both sides. I
Hmm.
understand, some of the things that these kids are lacking, but how do we help them get that? You know what I'm saying? What do we do? Other mothers in your group, other nonprofits. I mean, we just gotta unite. We gotta get together. I just got hooked up with this lady. I don't want to say this lady. A young lady, her name is Lisa Barton. She is a long time DC police officer. That she went on the civilian side, and now she is the lead in DC for Mob United,
Hmm.
moms of black and brown boys. And so I've been talking to her, and been just I'm just trying to what can we do? What can
So
we do? What can be done?
today, I've been speaking with some higher ups. I'm not gonna mention their name, but um, I'm more like my sis Tiff say all the time. Says you're more on politics, and it's starting to look that way. Like I'm more on the politics side because I'm trying to get laws passed as far as with King,
Guess
um,
what? Guess
with the
what?
juveniles.
Guess what? Guess
What
what?
happened?
You go in your room, you close
Hmm.
the door, you
Hmm.
pray,
I did it.
and be done.
I
And
did
whatever
it.
he leads you to
Absolutely.
do, that's what you
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
That's what you do.
Absolutely.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about all of the, because
Hmm.
the naysayers gonna be naysayers regardless.
Absolutely.
But if you got people like you say that's gonna support you, I'm in Florida. You come, hey Kevin, can you come to this event? If I look at my schedule and it's free, I'm taking the flight because
Hmm.
that's what it's about. And people appreciate you more when they know, man, that man live in Florida and look where he at. He here with us. Like that's what it take. It take for
Hmm.
people to take time out their day. Like when I ask people about volunteering, I'm like, how much does it cost to volunteer?
Hmm.
How much does it cost to volunteer?
Hmm.
How much does it cost? It's free. It's
It's
free
free.
99.
Yep.
Free 99. It's a youth challenge that's in Maryland that I did 18-month program. A young lady that I knew, her son was getting into some trouble. She, voted me to be his mentor. I never was involved with this. That 18 months of mentoring this young man and going through this program because I had to go to the facility. I had certain things that on this criteria that I had to do. It changed my life
Hmm.
because just me being myself, not
Hmm.
trying to be anything else, just look, when I when I did this happened, when I woo, 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 woo. And he's a thriving young man now.
Hmm.
Without people knowing about programs like that, it's kids out here
It's
that's
so
on the
true.
fence. It's
It's so
kids
true.
like this.
Yeah, my
It's
niece
kids
said
on
we
the fence.
need my niece said we need more leaders and resources in the community. That's
Yeah,
what I was speaking of today. Actually, with DC, they have a lot of resources in DC,
they do.
and I'm not going to speak on this because I don't know how viral this may get, but um, I just wish Shamira Bowser would do a little bit more as it pertains to the youth, um,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
our people. And
Absolutely.
I don't feel that she is using all of the resources that she can
Absolutely.
possibly use to help us out. As far as the Maryland side, as I was speaking to someone today, I don't think that Maryland offers as much as DC. Um, and also with the programs, a lot of these children are out here robbing. They're doing what they're doing because they're getting paid to do these things.
Yeah.
Right now, we are living in an era where everybody cares about designer. They
Yep.
care about name brand things. They care about social media and going on these social media platforms to stunt, if I could use that word,
Mm-hmm.
to show off, to feel to feel a part of something, right? Because they make you feel like
You
you
somebody,
somebody,
and you
right?
not.
When you're not, and they think that you
You
are.
don't even know how to fill out a
Um,
money order.
exactly. And so these resources, I feel in Maryland, I was told that there is one which is employee at Prince George's County or Prince
Oh, yes, it
George's.
is. Yes.
Okay, and so the mother that I spoke with, I've spoken to a mom. Her child is actually a suspect of armed carjacking, and she says she doesn't have any type of resources in Maryland as far as she doesn't feel like it's easy accessible. she can't find it. Like, it should be somewhere where we can. And I think we discussed this with Mayor Bowser. Tiff, did we discuss that with Mayor Bowser, or am I tripping? And I spoke with Angela also Brooks. I get them conflicted sometimes, but I we did speak about it where it's just, it needs to be a little bit more accessible for these people to be able to find, because you can't. And with Maryland, we don't offer enough programs. We don't have anything for these kids to do. These kids have nothing to do.
Oh, I
And if
agree.
it's a safety matter, then I get it. Provide more security, provide
Right.
more security guards, provide not
Right.
security guards, police officers
Right.
to these places. But we can't sit up here and keep saying, well, we can't have this because they're going to act out. We got to find solutions. We have to provide resources. Allow these kids to take up trades, electrician
They
or
gone.
something.
They
We
gone.
don't have that.
You don't have
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And so, what happens when you're idle and you don't have anything to do? You get into stuff.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that we need to really press the issue about providing more resources for our children and some of the parents, because these parents give up. They don't know. Like for me, I had my son at 15 years old. My son is about to be 21. I'm only 36 years old. So for me, if I was just dealing with him and he gets out of control, this is my only child. I don't know what to do because this is my first time going through this.
Right.
So the parents give up because they don't have any resources. They don't know. They
Right.
feel like, I can't, he's not listening to me. You guys are not helping me. I'm asking you to keep him in jail. Help me out. And you're
Right.
not doing it. So I just kick him out the house. And with kicking him out the house, he's hunting now. He has to learn how to be this person that he's not to
Right.
survive. So
One
we have to offer resources for not only the children but the parents as well, who feel like they don't know what to do.
one of the things that come up in some of our nonprofit meetings is marketing. There are
Hmm.
resources, but they're not marketed to the community.
They're not.
They're
They're not.
like people gotta like really search like so if we could just do that, if we could
Hmm.
just okay, let's do a list of all of the programs that's available in PG County. Can we find money to just market them? Because I got
So
a man.
that's where we I was speaking to one of the news stations today, um, and what she was saying was she had an organization as well. I had wrote some stuff down. She had an organization as well, but she was saying that, and I'm going to propose it when I have my meetings. But she was saying that we need to have like a list of these nonprofits. A lot of nonprofits going on right now that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, under the table stuff.
And
We
that
need to have a list of these
and,
nonprofits that are
whew,
active so that you can post them on their website so people can go there and
yeah,
see it. This is an active nonprofit.
yeah,
This is what they do, and
yeah.
this is how they can help.
I
That's what
like
we need
that.
to have.
I
We don't
like
have
that.
it.
I like that. I mean,
So
when you get that done, let me put our information because we
I
back.
got you.
Listen, we got so many ideas, but like you
Absolutely.
say, it's so many nonprofits that's not doing. It's so much red tape we gotta go through just to get a $25,000 grant. Like
Yes.
$25,000.
Yes.
We trying to provide meals. We want to
Mhm.
feed families.
Mhm.
Like we want to do feeding 10 families a year in both Maryland and Florida. Like I'm on a board of directors of another nonprofit down here.
Mhm.
So it's not like nonprofits aren't out here. But like
Right.
you say, even in Florida, how many people know about the nonprofit that I'm connected with?
Right.
The people that probably got kids that go to the school. That's it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if it ain't no website, if it's no marketing tool, let me look up and see. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
we got to figure it out. So
I
like I
just think
say,
I think
I'm
that
available.
it's like a slap in the face to add more cameras in DC, but you won't add more resources for these children. But we have so many cameras in DC. Everybody knows every street that you go on,
Wait a
there's a
minute.
red light camera.
Don't every police officer have a camera?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're
Oh,
adding, how many more did she say she was adding in DC? I can't
it
remember.
was a lot. It's a lot. It's a
It's a
lot.
whole heck of a lot. The tickets
Yeah,
are
it's a lot.
already $100. So you're getting paid off these
Yeah, it's a
tickets.
lot.
And then if you don't pay by their due date, it's double. So what are we doing with
So
the money?
so for some reason, she has this conception of DC looking like New York because a lot of the resources that I've been hearing and
Mm,
a lot of the stuff that she's been getting is from New York.
okay.
And then she was even was she in Las Vegas not too long ago? I think she was in Las Vegas not too long ago, but I know she was recently in New York. And a lot of the as far as policing the cameras and all this, she's getting a lot of that stuff from New York because it's a bigger, city, and they deal with a lot of, some of the similar stuff. But like you say, it's just, we got to dial it back, and we got to really like dig in, grassroots. Hey, what do we need? What can we be doing? Like,
So
I
for me, for the people that are on here that are supporting, I wish I could see the people that are supporting on here just to see how many. I know my niece is on here. I see Tiff, I see Nick, I see Tazzy, I see Miss Annette. I just wish I could see. I saw Mel. I wish I could just see everybody that's on here that's supporting. But um, I see Kayla. So for me now that I feel like I'm swaying more to the politics side as far as with the law change.
I'm with you.
I need more people. So the people that are saying that they support, I need them to go with me, um, to be that backbone
Right,
to Annapolis.
right.
Because hearing from just me,
It's
it
not gonna
makes
be
a
enough.
difference.
Oh,
It makes a
absolutely.
difference, right? Because I'm a mom and I can speak from losing my child and how
Correct.
it has affected.
Correct.
But other moms behind me, other fathers behind me
Yep.
who have lost their
I,
children,
I agree.
who have not yet lost their children and are afraid to lose their children,
I agree.
going
I
with
agree.
me, and my aunt Kim. Um, I feel that it we got to do something, right?
Nikki
And so
says
there,
I've reached out to the mayor's office, and not all caps, not one person has reached back out to me.
so we reached out to the mayor's office and we was able to sit down and have a meeting with Mayor Bowser. So I will say that she has sat down with us
Okay.
and heard us out, as strong as mothers out. So
Okay.
I will give her that.
Strong as
Um,
mother. I'm coming to one of y'all. Man, I need to. I mean, because I just want to hear what's going on. Because at the
mhm,
end of the day, like, I mean, I really feel like I helped
mhm,
Kanithia's find her truth, because once that YouTube video was up on YouTube, I sent that thing to every council member. I sent that thing to Channel 5,
mhm,
Channel 7, Channel 9. I sent it to
mhm.
everybody that I knew. I was like, hey, even if you don't watch it, just share this junk for me. And
I
after a
saw the
while,
video. I saw the video when her son got shot. They recorded
it
her son getting shot and they
yeah, it was
posted it
crazy.
on
It
YouTube. And that
was
was crazy to me that the
and,
officers sat there and watched him die.
and and
I'm
and
just,
for me, it's certain states now that's like, okay, if you under 16, you can't have social media. I'm like, I'm with that.
mm-hmm,
I'm with that.
mm-hmm,
Social media, I'm with that. But we know it's a way around everything. Like, it's these
mm-hmm.
kids real crafty, man. Like, it's
Nikki, I'll reach out. I'll reach out to you and provide you with someone you can. Yeah, because
that's
she
what's
said
up.
she needs to move ASAP.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we can,
And
if
that's
we
and
can all
that's
get
sad
down.
to hear. That's sad to hear when she said I gotta move. That's
It's a
crazy.
lot of people that need to move in DC and they're not getting responses. They're not getting the resources to,
Crazy.
be able to relocate. But they're doing on the Merlin. I don't do too much on the DC side. I don't mind helping out on the DC side, but I'm a Merlin sider. So I gotta get my community straight first before I'm able to, so my thing right now that I'm working on is the laws. And I gotta be quick because right now they're putting bills in. And
Yes.
so I literally spoke to one of the senators and he sent me today 20 laws that he's passing.
Okay.
And it's a lot of changes that's supposed to be going on.
Okay.
Um, but the public don't know about it.
Okay.
So
Is it okay to share those
yeah,
once they
yeah,
go into
yeah, yeah,
effect?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think even still, I mean, I think it's still. I don't think that they're hiding what's going on. I just think that it's not again accessible for people to
Right.
just when people got to search, click, 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 click. They just give up.
Well, just keep me in the loop,
I
and
will.
whatever they are, I share.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, let's
yeah, yeah.
share them. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, my
absolutely.
my two partners are in Maryland. Like, I
Okay.
know I'm here, but my two partners are in Maryland. So if it's
Okay.
something that you need from us as an
I gotta get
organization,
to the Annapolis office. From what I'm
yeah,
being told, I need to get down to the Annapolis office. I need these people to come with me.
okay,
I need backup. I really do. I really,
okay,
really do. I don't ask for much, but I really and it's free. I just need you guys to come with me to this Annapolis building, and we got to make noise, not violence. We have to make noise to where they understand us because they already think that we're ignorant, but we're
yeah,
not. We're not. We just really want to get things done.
Right.
And so if I could just have the support of people going down to that Annapolis building and getting some laws changed as it pertains to juveniles. Juveniles should not be able to commit such hideous crimes
No.
as such as carjacking, armed robberies, and murders, and be able to get let off or even on
Right.
house arrest. They
Right.
should be detained. I do um, agree with accountability. I do agree with rehabilitation. I don't believe that you should just put them in a cage and that's just it.
Right.
Get them some help while
Right.
they're there.
Right.
And while you're there, get their parents some help as well.
Right.
So, because I spoke to someone and she was like, so you just think that it's okay to just throw someone, a child in jail? You don't feel there's anything wrong with that? No, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't, because guess what? When your child does something wrong, you take their phone and you put them on punishment, right? You
Right.
may make them go in their room and write 100 times or whatever the situation is,
Right.
but you make sure that they learn from their actions, and you
Exactly.
have to hold them accountable. They're
Exactly.
children. So with
Exactly.
this boy that shot King, I have court May 1st.
Okay.
And I think I lost it in the courtroom, to be honest with you, Kev, to not even lie to you. So Tiff I don't know if Tiff is still on here. I don't even know the date if she knows, but we have court for those that are on here. You guys are welcome to come if I don't
I
know
think,
who
yeah,
you are.
Tiffany Evans. I think she's still
Yes.
on here. Yeah, she's
Yep,
still
yep,
on.
yep. Yep. So sis, I don't know if you know the time. I missed that. She had to deal with me in that courtroom. I lost it because when they told me that this boy was possibly up for being released, and the reason that they gave was because he's doing good in school when he was on honor roll before he killed King. So you guys hit me with this now. So you already slapped me in my face by not giving him jail time. Then you
Right.
slapped me in my face by not keeping him on the ankle monitor. Now you're gonna slap me in my face again. And so this goes back, and I'm not sending any threats, but this goes back to saying that sometimes people feel like they got to take matters into their own hands because
Yeah.
the law does not do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is not a situation where he fought my son and they walked away. He blacked my son's eye. He
Right.
took my son's life. My son
Life.
can never come back. He
Right.
can go to proms. He can go to birthday parties. He can
Right.
celebrate. And
Have
to see him in the
kids.
courtroom with
Grow
his
up.
mom
Yeah. Yeah.
smiling, yeah,
Yeah.
the audacity, because if it were me, I would apologize to you every single time, whether you want to accept my apology or not. I'm
Right.
apologizing to you every single time. My son took your child. I don't know what that feels like.
Right.
Right. But you have to be held accountable. So for me, I don't feel that he should be released off of probation. I think that he needs to stay on it for as long as he can stay on it to monitor him, because the minute that you take him off is the minute that he knows that now, guess what? I can do what I want to do. I'm
Listen.
not being watched.
Listen. Back in 95, 94, 95, I got caught with a gun in PG County. I was 17, and they put me on 5 years probation. And having a gun in PG County was not a felony; it was a misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm.
They put me on 5 years probation. So
Mm-hmm.
for him to have taken a life, what is I'm baffled. Like, I'm like, what? Like, what?
And the
Like,
thing is, that I don't like about it, right? For safety reasons, how do you know how my family feels, right?
right,
How do you know how? And I don't know if one of King's friends is on here, who was there that night with him. How do they feel with, like? Do you guys care about the safety of us, of the
right,
victim's family?
right,
Like, he's just out here. It's not that
right.
he's in another state or another country. He's literally in Maryland.
Yeah,
So you guys are just allowing this boy to not be accountable for anything that he's done because he's a child. And then they try to throw science in the mix, that right now his brain is not fully developed. Well, if that's the case, why take him off? Because what's to say that he's not going to commit that crime again?
exactly.
So on May 1st, they are allowing us to come in the courtroom and speak on why we should not allow this boy to get off of,
Okay,
yeah, the probation. So I'm trying to pack that courtroom out
okay,
like I did for his trial,
okay.
to let them see that, and just from everybody, from the community, they need to hear, like, this is, and they don't know. So I need them to know that you guys are
So
going to
I
have
mean, I wrote the date down. I'm gonna check my
May 1st. I
calendar.
think it's at 11, if I'm not mistaken. It may be at
11
11.
a.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
because before King's case, before that boy's case, because it's no longer really King's case if you want to look at it from a standpoint of, somebody said they just seen him at a
Seen him at a
party last
party.
week.
That's crazy.
See?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's out partying and
Wow.
doing whatever it is that he wants to do.
Wow.
That just threw me off. But
Wow. Wow.
um
Wow.
yeah, I
Wow.
can't even. I think that's one of King's friends that just commented.
Man, appreciate that that info, champ. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Um
That's crazy.
that yeah. It just threw me off, Kevin. I can't even.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You gotta laugh. You gotta
I'm
laugh.
reading it again. Like what? At a pop? Like having a good time?
But even after
Wow.
he killed King, I saw him at the party on the ground. He was twisted, and somebody said, "Whoever child this is, I hope they make it home." Laying in his throw up. And guess what? We could not present it in court because it's so much that you have to present in a courtroom in order
Yeah.
for them to even consider it as
Yeah.
evidence.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but May 1st is definitely going to be a day that I need people to come out and
Okay.
support.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
see I'm gonna see what I can do. So any last
That's
words
one of
for
King friends right there, Brandon. He was
Long
out there
Live
with King
King?
that night. Yeah,
For
he was
sure.
out there with King that night.
Any last words? Just like just to I mean I don't know because it's hard for me to put like to ask you what to say. Like just
Hmm.
do you have any last thoughts to everybody who might be watching?
I'm just, I miss my son. I love my son.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate that my son is not here and she gets to
Oh,
celebrate.
Tiffany, I did that already. I screenshotted it already. I'm gonna send it to her.
Yeah.
Go
It's
ahead.
um
Go
it's
ahead.
unfortunate. To the other mothers like Tiff and Nikki and whatever other mothers are here, you know, I look at it like this is my purpose. I could have easily spazzed out. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I could have easily took the other route. But I know that my son, he didn't die in vain. I'm not gonna let his name just go under and I not keep it alive. My son is
Right.
very much so alive. And
Right.
so for that, my son was loving, my son was caring. If you know my child, everybody loved King. If you ain't love him, you was hating on him because he probably had your girlfriend wanting him. But everybody loved King, and so that's how I want to represent my child. I want to rep my child as he left with love,
That's what's up.
and that's just helping out, mentoring other children, helping out these other children. Like I'm connected to King's friends. I want to be more connected to them and get more. I'm getting this nonprofit together so that I can.
I really enjoy and really it was heartfelt to hear you say and tell them how much of a friend they were to him and not to just leave him.
Hmm.
It was heartfelt. I mean, I know
Yeah.
you were in a moment and you know it was a lot of emotion, but
Hmm.
that made them emotional because it
Hmm.
made them feel like I did the right thing. I
Right.
stayed. I did the right thing. And as they
Right.
grow up, they're going to remember that. Like that's what
Right.
you do. You don't just
Yeah.
run. You stay and
Right.
you help out. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
help
had
out.
to because it was brought to my attention that one of the friends, the boy that they came up there for, he wanted to kill himself because he felt like it was his fault. The bullet
Wow.
was for him. From what I'm being told, and I don't know. I think King was standing next to Brandon when he got shot. Brandon, were you standing next to King? I think Brandon was standing next to him, or one of them was standing next to him. I know the boy that they came up there for. They said that the King was standing near the boy, so the boy felt like the bullet was meant for me. So
Wow.
I had to let them know. Some parents they could be upset and feel like you got my son into this,
Right.
but it's not. They didn't know.
Right.
They're kids. They didn't know, and I don't want them to carry that
Right.
around.
Right.
Um, but I'm definitely living out. That's King's girlfriend. Long live King Rakaya. Hey Rakaya.
Okay. Miss
Yeah,
Morton. Okay.
that's King's girlfriend. She was there that night as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So sad.
But I just want to live out King's legacy. My goal is to mentor children, to let kids know that they are loved, to let them know that they have support. My
Yes.
goal is to mentor moms, to create a circle where moms do not feel alone. This is a sorority that keeps growing on a daily basis. And so to have to feel like you're on this journey by yourself is the worst of the worst. I've been through the stages of where I want to kill myself, where I wanted to go on a rampage. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then I didn't care
Understand.
what happened after that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Thank God I have other kids to bring me back down to reality.
Humble
But
you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want to make a difference. I want to be able to just make a difference behind King's name. I want people to know who King is through me. So that's it. And I just ask for the support. Don't cost nothing. I just want everybody to come
No,
and
I don't call
support.
it. It's free 99. Support
It's
is
free
free
ninety
99,
nine.
man. It's
Yeah,
free
it's free
99.
99. But that's it. That's
Okay.
it. All
Well,
I can do is
well,
be strong.
from myself, my platform, Real Talk with the Six Man, and Type Inc., teaching you prosperity and excellence. If it's anything that we can do, don't hesitate. You got
Appreciate
my
you.
number. Like I say, even though I'm not in Florida, people don't like Spirit, but they get me back and forth. I tell
Hmm.
them it's the shuttle between DC and Florida.
Spirit is now with JetBlue though. I rode with Spirit.
They
Spirit got
they they
better.
they they still in court though. They still
Oh, are
they
they?
still trying to figure it out. Yeah, they still trying
It
to
was
figure
new
it out.
seats when I rode Spirit the last
Yeah,
time.
me too. Listen,
Yeah,
listen.
I'm cool
I've
with
been
Spirit.
flying. I've been flying Spirit since COVID. And
Long
when
as
I was
it's two
coming,
hours and less, I'm good.
listen, when I was coming down here in Florida to before me and Angel really got together,
Hmm.
round trip tickets from BWI to to Florida. I mean, Fort
Hmm.
Lauderdale. It was like $62 round
Hmm.
trip. I was
Hmm.
like, man, shit. I don't care what y'all talking about, Spirit. I can sit in the back by the bathroom. Don't bother me. When that plane land, I'm good.
You hear me?
So
I don't have no problem
yeah, I
riding.
ain't flying. I ain't flying Spirit. Good. That means I got plenty of room. I'm good. Yeah. Just look. Just went to New Orleans. Guess how we got there? Spirit.
I ain't mad. I
And,
love Spirit. I ain't lying.
and flew to New Orleans. Had a good time. Come back. We good. So
Hmm.
I don't get into all that. Oh, I'm not flying Spirit. Whatever. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway. But
Right. Yeah.
but I'm happy that we had an opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
you got my support. I mean, that's
Appreciate
without being said. And like I say, if it's anything that I can do myself or along with my organization,
it.
and
Hmm.
we are plugged in with other organizations. I mean, we're
Okay.
plugged in with directors of DCPS.
Hmm.
We plugged in with drug treatment centers. Like
Hmm.
we plugged in with a lot of people. So if it's
Okay.
anything, if I need to get on the phone, email, call people, let me know.
Okay.
I might not be there, but if they can come with Type Inc., then I'm there. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
glad we was able to do this. I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody in the
Thank you.
comments.
Thank
Not
y'all. Thank
not really not really sure how to say thank you for this, but it's because it's a sad thing. But thank
you.
you that y'all
Hmm.
showed up. Thank you for the
Yeah. Thank
comments.
you
Thank
for
you
the
for the
support.
encouragement. Yeah, it's just
I
I
appreciate
just
you.
want you to know you're not by yourself, man. And
Appreciate
if you
it.
ever need anybody to talk to, like you said, you got mothers that
Hmm.
have been through it, but I know a few too as well. So if I
Hmm.
could plug them in, with y'all, and they can bring something to the table, I'm willing to
Absolutely.
do that as well. So like I said, anything I can do, let me know.
Okay.
And I appreciate everybody coming through. It's the
Thank
Six
you.
Man, Miss McKnight.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
Thank
yeah,
you guys for
so
the support. I love you
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So
Definitely.
so
Long
we're gonna
live
sign.
King.
We're gonna sign off. If y'all didn't get the
Hmm.
whole, live, I'm gonna put it up on my page. I'll send it to Kay so she can have it. It's also gonna be here on my
Hmm.
Real Talk podcast YouTube page. And like I say, anything that I could do, let me know.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, guys. Thank
All right.
you.
Good night, y'all.
Long
Peace out.
live King.
Be safe.
Be safe.